latest football news, engaging debates,
and fascinating opinions.
Pitchside talk on IO Radio.
Yes, and welcome back to Pitchside Talk here on IO Radio. We're back for another week. Oh, Dan, we've got so much football to go through today, haven't we?
A lot happened this week, didn't it?
A lot did happen. Well, I don't know where we should start, but first thing first, before I forget to mention, follow us on Twitter, which is talk_pitch. You can just see all the latest football stuff that we repost and all sorts of things and everything. This time we didn't have an argument like last week.
Didn't. It's been quite calm on our Twitter account this week, hasn't it?
It has, and I actually kind of like it.
Yeah.
My phone's not going off every 5 seconds. And also, if you want to listen to any of our previous shows, you can go to our YouTube channel, which is just simply Pitchside Talk. You can listen to all the shows that we've done and in a podcast form. So So Dan, what have we got covered on the show today?
Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about Ipswich and their two results from the weekend and yesterday. We're going to be talking about the Premier League and everything that's happened at the weekend. And we're also going to be talking about the Champions League because it's back.
It's back with a
back
bang.
again.
And it's on tonight as well.
Yes, it is on tonight.
Oh, it's so nice when I watch it and I see like 10 games and I'm like, oh, it's so nice seeing 10 games on at once.
Yeah.
But I think we should get straight into this. Stay up to date with the latest footy news.
Pitchside Talk on IO Radio.
Yes, and welcome back to Pitchside Talk here on IO Radio. And finally, we're going to talk about Ipswich Town, but I think we should better go back to Saturday. Saturday's game against Doncaster. Both teams remained undefeated in the League One. Finished 0-0. You went.
I did.
What were your thoughts on the game? It's sort of what I saw on the texting was basically nothing.
Well, yeah, it wasn't the best game. I think that overall Doncaster probably deserved to win the game. I don't know, it was a bit lackluster from us, I thought, on Saturday. I don't think we played awful. I don't think it was that bad, but I feel like Doncaster, they've got a good manager and they've got decent players. I think their two midfielders are on loan from Arsenal and Tottenham. So they've got some decent players and I feel like they dominated most of the game. We didn't have many chances. So yeah, it wasn't the best game from us, but we'll take the point, I think.
Take the point, but should Doncaster be a little bit disappointed that they didn't score?
Yeah, I think so. I think over the 90 they had quite a lot of chances. I think if there was going to be a winner, it would have been 1-0 in the end because there was a lot of play in midfield. There was a lot of battles in midfield that weren't really going anywhere. So yeah, they had a few chances, and if they would have scored that one goal, then they probably would have won the game. So yeah, I think they would have been disappointed in the end with the result.
Disappointed. Well, Ipswich had a chance, didn't they? In the last in injury time, wasn't it? James Norwood got the ball from Alan Judge. Could he done better in scoring that? You had a perfect view of it.
Yeah, I did have a perfect view.
Could he done better on that? Just getting it in there.
Yeah, maybe he could have. I mean, he did well to get away from the defender in the first place, but he kind of just smashed it as hard as he could. He didn't really place it. He didn't really get direction on it. So in the end, it was quite close to the keeper. But I said after he shot to my friend who sits next to me, he could have put that in the corner, in the far corner, and it would have been a goal. But yeah, I feel like we still need to give him the benefit of the doubt. Really, you can't score every chance he has, but yeah, maybe he could have done better.
Maybe he could have done better. He has scored 5 for us already, so
yeah, exactly.
There's more than any other player did last season. So, but there was some positive news came out from that match. Will Keane came on in the 70. Oh my god, was it 70 minutes, something like that?
Yeah, around then.
Oh, actually, I've got the lineup up. Let's have a look. He came on.
Oh, that's the other game.
That's the other game. Sorry, that's the other game. He did come on the other game.
Yeah,
spoiler alert. I'll actually have a quick look. This is awkward. I sort of lined it up. There it is. Doncaster. I'm trying to find it now. Here we go.
There we go.
79 minutes he came on for Jackson.
Yeah.
How positive was it for him to make his return at Ipswich Town after the loan spell he's had and the injuries he's had, really?
Yeah, it's great for him. He had a decent season last year. He looked really good last year. He may not have the best goal scoring record in his career. I think he scored like 9 goals in his whole career, and he's a striker. So that's not great, but you know, he's a great. I think he's a great player. He's good at holding up the ball, and he's good with his feet as well. So it's good to see him come back. And after all the injuries he's had, it must have been tough for him. So to be back on the pitch, yeah, it's great news.
It's great news. What about for getting game time as well? If there is an injury just occurs, you know, that's quite good really for players to get runs out if there is an injury of some sort.
Yeah, I mean that's probably what he's been looking for, because you know he's going to be the player that comes on after 70 minutes every game, because if they're fit, Norwood and Jackson are going to start every game.
No Sears?
Well,
when he comes back.
When he comes back, well, he'd probably play on the wing anyway. So, but yeah, it's good for him to get minutes, and more minutes. He's going to be a better player.
He's going to be a better player.
I already think he's a good player anyway. So
really, I think he's all right. I think he's just been a bit. He could have done better in his career. Let's just say that. Let's look at his brother.
Yeah. Who's
playing for England and not doing very well when it comes to back passes against Kosovo. But we don't talk about that because we actually won the game.
Yeah.
But we better move on to last night's result. I didn't realise they were actually playing.
Really?
At first, because, you know, I thought, oh yeah, it's Champions League, that's back. But I forgot League One play, don't they?
Yeah.
They played, and Ipswich Town went away to MK Dons.
Yep.
And played, and they won 1-0. John Norwood, oh my God.
Who's John Norwood?
Don't know. John Nolan's. Oh, sorry. Oh, it's just gone a blur.
Yeah.
I'm still forgetting about last night's match.
Yeah.
But he sealed all 3 points for Ipswich Town. How impressive were Ipswich last night?
I think last night it was more of a game of two halves. First half we were...
Give me a second.
Yeah.
You talk.
It was more of a game of two halves. I feel like the first half we were decent at passing around. We were playing the ball around quite nicely. And it kind of changed in the second half. We kind of went more defensive. I mean, we did play well defensively. But, you know, MK Dons came out. They made 2 subs at half-time and, you know, came out and dominated the game. But I feel like we looked comfortable. So overall, I think it's a decent performance because we showed both sides of what we can do. Mm-hmm. And you need to get these 1-0 wins if you're going to win the league at tough places. Because MK Dons have had a good start to the league. I think they were 9th going into the game yesterday. And they'd just beaten Blackpool 3-0 the week before. So yeah, I think it's a great result away from home.
Sorry, but that's just an excited fan outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of mentioned that. They do need to get these sort of 1-0s.
Yeah.
Because it is quite important just to sort of grind a result out.
Yeah.
I think that sort of shows that you mean business when you do that.
Especially with these, we're going to quote Mick McCarthy here, Saturday, Tuesday. But
Saturday, Tuesday, oh yeah.
Yeah, especially with so many games, you need to grind out these results.
It's not always about winning 2-0 sometimes.
No.
You just got to get the 3 points at the end of the day, even if it is scrappy. But James Wilson played last night. And he played quite well, according to a lot of people. He was only... the funny thing is he's got a contract until January.
Yeah.
And he's playing so well. Should Ipswich maybe take up an option to get him on a few years deal? Because he was only brought in as a replacement for Insala, but it looks like he's now going to could be number 1 centre-back at Ipswich Town.
Yeah. I mean, after his performance yesterday, I think he's got every chance to get a new contract. I think... Every time I've seen him so far, he's looked solid at the back. You know, it was maybe a bit of a weird transfer when I first heard of it. Because, I mean, we had to sign a centre-back because Chambers was suspended for the first game and Ciala was out injured. So, yeah, he's been playing well. And why not give him a contract? It can only help having more players. And more squad depth. We've got loads of squad depth anyway, but, you know, with more players, we've got more support on the bench. So, yeah.
And also with centre-backs, there's only about 4 seniors.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's just don't want to make mistakes.
No.
With sort of that, because it could go to a rival team and you don't know, it could do something brilliant.
Exactly.
Looking at other people that were left last season. But some sort of bad news came out of that match. As I sort of alluded to a little bit earlier, James Norwood came off within inside 35 minutes with a groin problem, which is being reported. But would he be missed would he be missed? They're going to assess it in the next few days. They're on about, but could there be a definite? He could be out for a few games, possibly.
Yeah, I mean, he will definitely be missed. He's been one of the players that's impressed so far. Obviously, that's what everyone was expecting because of the amount of goals he scored over last season. So he will definitely be a miss. That's not saying that we haven't got support because Keane will probably start on Saturday. But we need someone like James Norwood on the pitch, to create trouble for the defenders as well. And I don't think Keane is cut out to do that. So I think we'll definitely miss him. Hopefully it's not too long. I think it's a groin injury he kind of had it a bit last season.
Yeah, it's been reported from Stuart Watson, who I tweeted this morning, actually. Yeah. He said it's a groin problem, which he sort of had a bit last season, but played through it a lot, but it is going to be assessed.
Yeah.
But it might not be bad, him just missing a game and possibly coming back for a training. But who would be the perfect replacement? Because we've got Keane, we've got Roberts, and we've got...
That's really it.
Yeah, it's a bit... Striker's a bit thin at the moment because of Sears being out, but...
Yeah, I think Keane will come in and just do the same role. I mean,
okay.
Paul Lambert could maybe go back to one up front, but I really don't want to see that.
What about Dobar coming in?
Dobra. He's more of a winger. I don't think he's suited to play up front.
Okay.
Especially with Jackson, if he's going to start, because they're both pacey players. He's not going to hold the ball up. But I think Keane will just replace Norwood. Straight change. Because I don't want to see us go back to one up front, because that doesn't really work for us. The striker gets left up there on his own, gets isolated up there by himself. So I'd like to see Keane come in and do the same job that Norwood has been doing.
Okay, well, fair enough. Well, Ipswich trialled a new formation last night. Well, you said for about 30 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds.
30 seconds to 3-5-2, but that slowly changed into 4-1-2-1-2.
Yeah.
How do you think that worked last night? Will that solve their problems from the 4-4-2 that we've sort of seen with Judge on the wing, where he should be behind the strikers, and then all sorts of chaos coming from that?
I think this formation suits the players that Lambert's got available. I think 5 at the back suits that as well.
5 at the back?
3 at the back.
You know
what I mean?
I was about to go.
Wing backs, 5 at the back. That's what.
I was about to go. I come at Ipswich Town going that defensive.
But yeah, I think that formation suits the players that he's got. I feel like I know that going into this game, I'm guessing that he didn't really know that MK Don's formation, because they had 4 in midfield, so Scoots had to come forward in front of the back 4 and help Nolan and Hughes and Downs in that midfield. And for the first half, it looked like it was working. We had Garbett came back in at left back. He had a solid game. So, yeah, that formation looked good. And I think we could maybe trial that in the next game, see how it goes again, and see if we can change to that.
Okay.
And I feel like Judge will be perfect in that formation because he can play behind the 2 strikers. I know he didn't play yesterday, and Nolan had a good game, but he'd be perfect in that formation as well.
Okay. Well, we're seeing a variation of formations now, and this is sort of Lambert showing off his squad depth, because his squad depth is actually quite ridiculous.
Yeah.
Comparing to sort of last season. Do Ipswich have one of the strongest squads in League One, looking at what they've got available to them and people coming back and all sorts?
Yeah, I think we do have one of the strongest squads in the league. We've got a lot of players that are played in the Championship, that are used to the league. So we've got a great side, I think, and we should be up there by the end of the year with the squad we have. And the squad depth is important. You need those players that can, if there is an injury or something happens where someone's suspended, you need that squad depth where you can have another decent player come on, replace that player. And our midfield is ridiculous. We have so many good players in our midfield. Our bench, I think that our bench looks as good as the first team every week. Mm-hmm. So it's really good to see how much depth we have in the squad. And yeah, I think we have one of the strongest teams in the league.
I've also looked at, you sort of mentioned craziness in the midfield. Lots of them midfielders can play actually striker.
Yeah.
Roberts for one. and Lancaster when he comes back from his serious back injury.
Yeah.
I tell you, I do actually miss him. I thought he was quite good when
he was good.
He was good last season.
Last year.
He should have scored against the West Brom. That's my only criticism. Should have scored against West Brom.
Yeah.
Should have put that.
His debut as well, wasn't it? I think
Probably he hit that free kick against the post.
Yeah, he did.
Should have done better with that. That's my only complaint. But moving on to Saturday game against Gillingham away.
Yep.
The last time they played Gillingham away it finished 0-0 back in 04-05.
Mm-hmm.
What can we expect from this game? Gillingham are 15th in the league on 10 points. And if Ipswich win this, they could potentially go top. Still with that game in hand.
Coventry don't play at the weekend. So
they don't. So Ipswich could go top.
If we win, we'll go top.
What is going to be your score prediction for this one?
This is a tough one.
Because there's no Norwood.
No, there's no Norwood. Well,
if we presume there's been no Norwood.
Yeah. And as well, I don't really know much about Gillingham. I mean, going away from home is hard anyway. But with the squad we have, I think we can come away with 3 points. I'll say 2-0 to Ipswich.
2-0. I'm going to go for 1-0. I think it's just going to be another get these sort of results and then rest up and then Tranmere on Saturday. It's going to be, I think it's just that, you got 3 games and like so many days. You just got to get the results through.
Oh, yeah. And Thomas Holy's back at his old club as well.
Yeah. Oh, I wonder how that's going to go down. The Holy one back, but when we come back, we're going to be talking about the Premier League. It was back after its international break. And I'm just going to say this, what actually happened? Everything just hit the fan, didn't it, really?
It did.
Oh,
Some
God.
things I don't want to talk about, but...
Well, for
we'll
you, you don't want to talk about. I'm sort of all right, but... Oh, God.
Pitchside Talk on IO Radio.
Yes, that's right. It is one of our own here. Pitchside Talk on IO Radio. And before I forget to mention, if you want to follow us on Twitter, it's simply talk_pitch. You can just see all the stuff that we repost and polls and that. We have loads of polls.
Yeah.
Polls coming out of everywhere. Is everywhere. And also funny stuff.
Yeah. I was going to dye my hair ginger today, but...
Yeah.
In because of Nolan yesterday.
Yeah.
But
Problems happened. Problems happened. But yeah, we post a lot of stuff. And it's funny stuff as well. I quite like doing the funny stuff as well.
Yeah. It's good, isn't it?
It's getting good,
Yeah.
But we better move on to the Premier League. It returned after international break. And I guess we better start off with the first match that happened on Saturday. Liverpool making it 5 out of 5 by beating Newcastle 3-1, which was a bit of a weird score because Newcastle scored. I was like, what? That was a very weird moment. But how impressive were Liverpool on Saturday?
They were impressive, I thought. This was the only game of the weekend I actually watched, so... every time I watch Liverpool, I'm impressed. I'm sure you'd like to hear that.
Thank you.
So, I think that they're just too good at the moment. You can't beat them at Anfield. You just can't. Whoever team you are, or maybe Man City, maybe. But they haven't had a great start. But, Liverpool, Anfield is their fortress now. So, going to Anfield is going to be one of the toughest things to do. So it was no surprise that Liverpool won the game. Maybe it was a surprise that Newcastle scored, especially first.
Yeah, I heard about that. I was like, what?
But yeah, Liverpool were impressive and they deserved their win in the end.
Thank you. But should have Newcastle made it two? Should have Newcastle had 2 goals when I think it's Kraft had a sort of an open goal, sort of, and just blasted it.
Yeah.
Into Everton's ground, really, more than anything. I think that's what he was aiming for, that goal.
Yeah.
But should have they had 2?
Yeah, they could have had 2. I think that Newcastle did quite well in the first half, especially. They were good on the break. They had quite a few half chances here and there during the first half. I think that as Liverpool got into the game and scored their 2 goals, Newcastle kind of went off a little bit. But, yeah, maybe they could have got a second goal, but it's Newcastle, so...
Yeah. Do they look a bit more under pressure now, looking at their previous record? They've won 1 game, drawn 1 and lost 3 this season. They're in the relegation zone on 4 points. But is there sort of concern now to be a bit worried for Newcastle this season?
Yeah, I think so. At the start of the season, everyone predicted Newcastle to be in the bottom 3, and that's what's happening so far. So I think that Newcastle fans are probably worried. I still don't think Steve Bruce was the best decision. He's actually looked okay so far. I didn't think maybe he's got a decent amount of points in the games that he's had, but I still think he wasn't the best decision. But yeah, Newcastle I think should be worried about relegation this year.
Should be worried.
Yeah.
Should be worried. But I forgot to mention some stats actually. Liverpool equaled a stat and actually broke a record on Saturday. They are the fourth team to win 14 consecutive top flight matches, matching Arsenal's 2002, Man City's 2019 and 2017 record. And also Liverpool are the first team to win 14 consecutive matches and to score more than one goal in each win. That's quite amazing, actually.
That is amazing.
If you think about it, because sort of Liverpool, I can't remember the last time Liverpool have actually won a game 1-0.
No. It hasn't happened in a long time, has it?
Hasn't happened.
No, it just doesn't happen.
Doesn't happen. Well, we better move on to Manchester City. Manchester City had to respond against Norwich. I guess everybody knows what happened, but Norwich threw a spanner into the works. Let's just say that. Norwich beat Man City 3-2.
Yes.
It was 2-0 at one point, and then 3-1. Can I ask you, what happened? Because nobody knows what happened.
No,
it was.
I can't answer that. I mean, that was. I thought it was a massive shock, wasn't it?
I don't think anybody predicted.
And no one would have predicted Norwich to win that game.
Not even our poll did.
No.
Our poll went 65% Man City, 29% Norwich, and 6% for a draw.
Yeah. So, no one was expecting this to happen. But I think that Norwich, they're looking great. Going forward, they're excellent. They just are.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the amount of goals they've scored compared to the teams around them, I think they've got 9.
Yes.
So far this year, so that's a decent tally. And maybe there's still a bit of worry at the back, but to beat Man City, what a result for them.
Well, this is sort of the story of the season already. I think it's like 9 players out injured.
Yeah.
The squad doesn't even cost more than like £10 million.
No.
Lots of academy players playing. Somebody is making their debut on that game.
Yeah.
At centre back. Mine's just slowly getting blown here.
Yeah.
But looking at this sort of Norwich's starting 11, right? So their starting level was 6.4 million. Man City 400. This just shows that this is the Premier League and everybody's equals here. Sort of like it's the magic of the Premier League.
Well, yeah, I think it's the magic of the Premier League. To say that all the teams are equal, I think that's not quite right.
Well, in 90 minutes,
Well, yeah. Okay. Unless you're Liverpool. But,
thank you.
But yeah. I just think this is a result that, Norwich will probably go into the next game. I don't know who they've got.
They play against Burnley.
Yeah, they'll probably lose against Burnley. That's just what happens with football. That you get these results that are a surprise. Because I remember a couple of years ago, or maybe not a couple, a bit more than that, when they were in the Premier League last and they played Man United and won at Carrow Road against Man United, when Man United were, fighting for the title. So I feel like these results happen. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how Norwich do.
We will see.
But yeah, massive surprise. And, I bet you Pep gave his team a right thrashing in the changing rooms afterwards.
Yeah, he probably did. But Man City didn't have Eric Laporte. That's their first game without Eric Laporte.
Yeah.
He's out till February time, apparently, with a leg problem. Are we gonna see more results like this? Because they had this problem last season. Fernandinho went out for 2 games and they lost both of them.
Yeah.
Is this a problem now we're going to see at Man City? And also, there's more news. They're out with John Stones out for 5 weeks now, who played.
Yeah.
They've only got 1 senior centre-back now.
Yeah, and that's the person who made a mistake for one of Norwich's goals.
Yeah.
So that's not great, is it?
What is it? Are we going to see more of this? Are Man City slipping ever so slightly now because they
Yeah.
haven't got that leader at the back?
Yeah, I think so. I think it shows that when there's a big injury to a senior player at Man City, their heads kind of drop a little bit. You know, and to have one senior centre back, that's not good news. And you saw the mistake.
Yeah, I
Ultimately
was like,
made.
what?
Yeah, that was really, really poor. You know, just basically standing around at the back.
He knew he was there as well. That's
Yeah.
the funny thing. He
Yeah.
looked and saw him. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, it was mad. But yeah, I think this will be a massive miss. I don't know who they're going to play.
there's
to
rumours
replace
that
him.
Walker
Yeah,
might have to go
Walker can
centre
play
back,
centre-back.
or Fernandinho, who is slowly coming back from injury, will have to go centre back.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it's going to be tough, Man City, especially in the big games against teams that are going to be in the top four. So, yeah, we'll see. I still think Liverpool are better than Man City at the moment.
Oh, thank you. Well, after the game, Pep Guardiola said in his press conference, I'm going to quote him because I know what he's doing.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Liverpool. You are the champions. Now, he said that in September. Is he playing mind games? Or are we talking about these fine margins that we saw last season coming into play, and he's already sort of ruled himself out for the title already because the fine margins?
I personally think it's mind games because you can't rule yourself out yet. There's only been 5 games. You can't.
That's true.
I don't think you can rule yourself out just that, even though it is 5 points and Liverpool are on fire right now. So I think it's mind games. We all know what Pep's like.
Yeah, we do.
As a manager. So, yeah, I think he's just trying to, I still think Man City have a chance to catch Liverpool. Obviously, there's only been 5 games.
Mm-hmm.
I do think Liverpool will win the league, but yeah, that's just Guardiola playing mind games.
Guardiola. Well, we better do a quick run through all the other results that happened over the weekend. So, Brighton versus Burnley. Brighton George 1-1, Burnley.
Yeah, not a great game.
No, Brighton a little bit disappointed. Should have taken all 3 points, especially, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Nothing more to say about that.
No.
Manchester United won their first game since beating Chelsea at home. Marcus Rashford scoring a penalty against Leicester. Were Man U quite lucky not to come out with a win? Because Leicester looked quite dangerous at points, and there was a few key referee decisions which I thought could have gone the other way.
Yeah, there was a lot of 50-50s as well, wasn't there? Yeah, I think that Leicester are good going forward, but obviously Man United got a clean sheet in the end. So, yeah, maybe Leicester could have got something out of that, but yeah, I think Man United deserved it in the end.
Man United deserved it in the end. Sheffield United lost to Southampton 1-0. It was a bit of a weird game, really, because it was like Sheffield United were brilliant, and then after that goal, which was ruled off because of VAR and offside, it went from just 0 to 0 quite quickly.
Yeah, it's weird how things impact the game, isn't it? When something goes against you and heads drop and you lose a bit of concentration, and I think that's what happened with Sheffield United. Obviously, it was a great goal from however you pronounce that name, Gineppo.
Yeah, Gineppo. Yes,
it was a great goal from him. So yeah, unlucky from Sheffield United. I thought they had a good game, and they were unlucky to not at least get a point from the game.
Yeah, and also with Billy Sharp getting sent off. Was that? Just want to ask you, was that a red card? Or was that more of a yellow?
I think it's a yellow, but you can see why the ref is going to send him off for that. There's going to be refs that give him a yellow card, and because it's near the end of the game as well. But obviously, there's going to be refs that do send him off for a tackle like that. So yeah.
And Tottenham won 4-0 against Crystal Palace. This is actually the highest victory Tottenham have recorded against Crystal Palace in league history.
Wow,
that's quite crazy. But Tottenham back to sort of winning form. Just after a few rocky weeks, Newcastle loss, Arsenal draw when they were leading that 2-0.
Yeah,
this is sort of the result they needed to just get form back up, get motivation.
Yeah, definitely. I still think that Tottenham are close, but not quite that ready to challenge for the title. But yeah, it's good to get this form back. And Son had a great game as well. He was brilliant.
Yeah.
In that game. So yeah, good for them to get the form back underway.
Yes, and also a final game of the Saturday was Chelsea won 5-2 against Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Yeah.
Wolverhampton are a good team.
Yes, they are. Even though they're 19th at the moment.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy what the effects of Europa League does to.
Yeah,
It's like
it is.
Burnley.
Yeah.
But how good did Chelsea look in this? I think all their goals have been scored by players under 21 or from Chelsea Academy.
And all three of them players played in the Championship last year.
Yep. It's crazy how times turned. But
yeah, it does.
how impressive did they all look? Especially Tammy Abraham.
Yeah.
Was it now 3 games, 7 goals? And he was criticised at the start of the season.
Yeah, he was. Do we expect him to get an England call-up soon?
I think he deserves one.
Yeah, so do I. I think he deserves one. He was brilliant. Chelsea looked great in this game. It does only seem like they can get these results away from home at the moment. But yeah, that was a great result for them. And to have all your youngsters scoring as well, that's a great sign that maybe what Lampard's trying to do is working. I still think they'll finish outside the top 4. But they're on the right track, I think, at the moment.
On the right track. Well, with the Sunday's games, and Bournemouth won 3-1 against Everton. Callum Wilson reminding Gareth Southgate what he can do.
Yeah. Actually, he's linked with Man United at the moment, isn't he?
He is. That's a bit... Well, it's just everyone's linked with Man U. But Everton always say that they want to break the top 6. Does this sort of game sort of say that they're not ready to break the top 6 because these are the sort of games you need to win?
Yeah,
and they look very off.
Yeah, they did look off in this game. No disrespect to Bournemouth because they've had a decent start, and they are a good team. They've got some decent players, but away to Bournemouth, I think Everton fans will want them to win that game. And yeah, I think Everton have the foundations there to challenge for the top 5 or 6, but they're just not quite there yet. I think they've got mistakes in them still, and yeah, can't see them getting. Maybe they'll be in the top 10, but
do they have the right manager? Because he has been criticised.
Yeah, he has.
He had that problem. I think wasn't it? I think that's around February time when he's playing against Millwall, and there was that problem with the defence.
Yeah,
that got ironed out, and now there's a problem with the defence again.
Yeah,
is that something that Marcus Silva needs to look at before maybe he does get? We don't know, the call to the office up there.
Yeah, I think that's something he needs to sort out. But I still have faith in him that he can do a good job. I think he's a great manager. So I'd stick with him for the time being. But he needs to sort out these defensive mistakes as well. But I think they should stick with him.
Okay. Well, speaking of defensive mistakes,
yeah.
Arsenal had another calamity moment or a clown moment. Drawing 2-2 to Watford.
Mm-hmm.
Watford could have won this game, perfectly honest. They look so dangerous. But Arsenal have now made 14 errors, which has led to goals, more than any other club starting from last season.
Yeah, that's not great, is it?
Does that show that they've still got defensive problems in them, and they can't challenge for the top 4 because of these defensive problems?
Yeah, I think so. It's defensively at Arsenal. It's been a problem for over a long time now. We've seen so many of these Arsenal teams having mistakes at the back, and it's happening again. So I think this is one of the big reasons why they won't be in the top 4 this year. But I still think they're a good attacking wise. So it's good to see them being good on the attack, but you need a good defence as well to be a successful team. And they don't have that. So
no.
Yeah.
And also Watford's positive start under Kike Flores, does that sort of show that they'll be safe this season? It's just going to be a matter of time till they get out that relegation zone.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was a great result for Watford. I think that they do have enough to stay up in this league. They've got a decent manager now, and they've got a decent side as well. And I think they do have enough to get out of this situation.
Well, that's good to hear. Well, and also the final games bear speak about Aston Villa versus West Ham. Finished 0-0. Could have ended up in a famous Newcastle Lee Bowyer and Kira Dyer moment of when they are fighting each other on the pitch with Tyrone Mings and El Ghazari. No further action was taken on that, apparently. Even though I thought I wouldn't square it to Tyrone Mings.
No.
Even if
wouldn't
I was,
either.
even if I was his height, I still wouldn't have squared up
No.
to him. But Aston Villa should have taken all 3 points. They looked like they had so many chances in them, but they just couldn't finish on the day.
Yeah, there was that massive chance, wasn't there, from Wesley?
Yeah, and
Right.
Grealish at the end.
Grealish at the end
Oh.
as well. Yeah, so they're looking quite good, Aston Villa. I still think they have the team that can stay up in this league. But they need to, finish their chances. That's what you need to do, obviously, to win games. So I'd take the draw against West Ham because West Ham have had a decent start to the league as well. So yeah, take the point, go again.
Yep. And also, Mike Dean added another red card to his collection.
Yep.
102 he's now shown to Premier League players more than any other referee. 35 more than Phil Dow.
Wow.
I know. Good old Mike Dean. We love Mike Dean. Well,
Yeah.
when we come back, we're talking about the Champions League. That sound played last night, and it was lovely.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about the two English teams that played last night, Liverpool and Chelsea. Oh, God, this is going to be fun.
The best place in Ipswich to hear the latest football debates, Pitchside Talk on IO Radio.
Yes, and welcome back to Pitchside Talk here on IO Radio. And it's the moment of truth. We've got to talk now about the Champions League. Are you all right there?
Yeah, I'm just having problems with my headphones.
Oh,
I'm all right, though.
typical Wednesday, problem with headphones. But the Champions League was back last night, back with a bang.
It was.
And the defending champions, Liverpool, went to Napoli and lost 2-0.
Hooray!
Whoop, whoop. Did the result reflect the match and sort of how it was going?
I think so. I mean, both teams showed that they had quality. I don't know with Liverpool. They looked a bit off last night, did you think?
Yeah, I thought they looked off.
yeah.
Especially sort of going forward, they looked a bit slumped back. But we had
Yeah.
that last season there. We looked a bit slumped there. I don't know if it's just...
Maybe it's just European nights.
Well, well, that ground's probably like Anfield, really.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like you go there, it's gonna be tough. So.
Yeah, it is. And I feel like I don't know. It's a bit of a weird game. I think it was quite even, and whoever's going to score the first goal is going to win. And obviously, Napoli did that.
Ooh, good catch.
Even though it wasn't a penalty. But I guess we'll get onto that.
Yeah, that actually leads on to my next question. Was it a penalty? In my view, he gets it. Andy Robinson, he touches him, but I feel he's going over and the
Yeah.
ball's going the other direction anyway.
Yeah.
So
I think Robertson is going for the ball. He may not get the ball, but obviously he's going for the ball. Is it Callahan? Is that?
yes,
Oh,
Callahan,
God. Yeah.
Jose Callahan.
He's going over before Robertson even touches him. So he's diving trying to get a penalty. There's contact, but it wasn't that much contact. So yeah, I don't think that's a penalty. And there's VAR in this as well.
VAR didn't look at it.
No,
That's what I didn't get.
Yeah,
but,
I don't understand that.
well, I put a poll out about it. Was it a penalty? And 56% of people say no, and 44% say yes.
So
So
it's
it's
quite
very,
close.
it's quite tight. But I guess it's because he makes contact
Yeah,
with him.
he
So
does.
it's a bit of a tricky situation. But
Yeah.
better move on to the second goal. Should have Van Dijk cleared it instead of passing it back?
Yeah, I think so.
Just went to Arente and just
Yeah.
knocked it in.
You can't really, in that situation where you're under pressure, you can't really pass it back into your own box. And, it's very rare for him to make a mistake like that.
Yeah,
'Cause we know how good he can be. So it was, a bit weird to see. But, yeah, you can't be doing stuff like that
Yeah,
in that situation.
well, can Liverpool bounce back from defeat? Because they are the first team since AC Milan in 1994 to lose their opener. But AC Milan did make the final that year and lost it
Yeah.
against a young Ajax team.
Mm-hmm.
A few legends came out of that team.
Yeah.
But can Liverpool bounce back from its defeat? Is it just sort of it's one of those things? It happens.
Yeah. I think that's just a blip, isn't it? I think, the other teams in the group, is it Genk and
Rebel Salzburg.
So they're definitely winnable games for Liverpool, and I think in the next Championship game they can bounce back. And I still think they'll go far in the competition again.
Okay.
If they make it to the final, I don't know. But you can't really predict the Champions League, as we saw last year.
Yeah.
So
Go on.
yeah, we'll see how they do. But I do think they'll bounce back in the group stage.
Okay. Well, speaking of Salzburg, they actually won 6-2 against
Yeah.
Genk. So,
They did.
oh god. But we better move on to the other English team playing last night, Chelsea. Frank Lampard's first time back in the Champions League. since 2012 after winning the Champions League, and it didn't start off pretty for him. He lost that.
Yeah.
Simple, just Chelsea weren't good enough on the night.
Yeah, maybe. I think they look good at times. In the first half, especially, they looked decent at times. Maybe they should have scored, but overall, I think they didn't really deserve to get any from the game. There was a few mistakes as well, but Valencia, they weren't the best team I've ever seen as well. So, they had parts where they were a decent side, and obviously they came away with the win. So, I think it's a fair result in the end.
Okay. Well, does Frank Lampard need to fix sort of set piece routines, especially when the other team are taking them?
Yeah.
Because there's two chances where because the goal came from a free kick which Chelsea were absolutely sleeping.
Yeah, didn't pick that.
No.
I don't know who it was who scored.
Rodrigo scored,
Yeah.
but does this sort of highlight the problems that Frank Lampard's having? Or sort of there's periods of the game where his team just they just sleep at the back.
Yeah.
Is that something he needs to fix urgently?
Yeah, I think so. When you go into a game like this, you need to be on it for 90 minutes. And to have spells where you're the better team and then spells where you're not is natural. But you need to keep in the game. You can't fall asleep like they did in this free kick. Because when you look at it, there's players around there that could attract that man, Rodrigo. So, yeah, they just fell asleep. Mistake. And simple goal, really, for Valencia.
A simple goal. But there was a big moment for Chelsea. They got a penalty through a very controversial VAR decision. Firstly, was it a penalty? It hits his arm, but his arm's already like that as the ball's coming in. So, is that natural, unnatural? Does anybody know?
I don't think it's a penalty, but with the new rules...
Yeah, UEFA
it's
rules.
Always going to be given, isn't it?
Yeah, UEFA rules are everywhere. But Barkley took the penalty, came on the 80th minute, and he skied it. He hit the crossbar. Jorginho, who's scored the last penalty for Chelsea, was disgusted. William was disgusted as well. But sort of Frank Lampard came out at his press conference and defended him by saying he is the penalty taker, even if he's come on as a sub. Do you sort of agree with that? And should he take penalties further more in the future?
I think, fair enough. Yeah, he's the penalty taker. If Frank Lampard has come out and said that, then that's that. He's going to take the penalties. But I don't know. I think every player misses penalties. As we've seen, the best players in the world can miss penalties. I'm not saying Barkley's the best player in the world, obviously.
Well, he's not really, is he?
So maybe he should have let Willian take it in that situation. But he obviously felt like he was ready to take it, and he misses it. But if Lampard has faith in him taking the next penalty, then fine, he'll take the next penalty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's also another big moment for Chelsea in that game. Inside 9 minutes, Mason Mount got injured and is taken off. But apparently Frank Lampard's come out and said they won't find out until Friday what the extent of his injury could be. How much of a miss could he be? Because he's actually come to life, especially behind Tammy and on the wing.
Yeah.
He looks like he could be an incredible player for Chelsea for years to come.
Yeah, he does look like an incredible player. And obviously incredible players will be missed when they're injured. So, yeah, I think he'll be a massive miss. He's been brilliant this year so far. He's had England appearances. So, yeah, he's really impressed. And, it looked like quite a nasty injury as well. I think it was his ankle. Yeah,
his ankle got caught by Coquelin.
Yeah. Maybe that should have been a red card.
I thought that as well.
Yeah.
I saw it.
So, yeah, I think Chelsea will definitely miss him because he's been probably, if not their best player this year so far, this season. So, we'll see how
they go.
How bad the injury is.
Well, before I forget to mention, there is a few stats that Frank Lampard actually broke last night. That's Chelsea's second defeat in the Champions League in 42 matches. The last was 2013 against Basel.
Wow.
And Frank Lampard's now lost his first game in the Premier League and first game in the Champions League as a manager. It's not looking good first games. And he hasn't won at Stamford Bridge yet. That's a big problem.
That is a big issue.
Well, we better talk, just quickly mention about the games tonight. The other two English teams are playing. Tottenham away to Olympiacos, kicking off at 6 o'clock English time. How could they get on tonight? Will Tottenham win that?
I think so, yeah. I don't know how good Olympiacos are at the moment. Obviously, I don't really take notice of them, but I think Tottenham have got quality and they'll be able to beat them.
And also, Man City are in Ukraine tonight playing against Shakhtar Donetsk.
Yeah.
Is that just basically walk in the park game? Looking at their previous games, they've won 6-0 at home and 3 away. So we're just talking easy in the walk.
Yeah, I think so. Easy win for Man City tonight.
Easy win for Man City. Well, oh God, that was quite quick, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Pitchside Talk, footy debate from the Premier League Outback.
Yes, this is right. It is Pitchside Talk from actually the League One Outback, not the Premier League Outback, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, both now, isn't it, really?
yeah, both. Well, we're nearly at the end of the show. VAR is gone, so the referee's now about to blow his whistle, actually. We're always running late, but it's the best sort of show when we run late.
Yeah. That means we've talked a lot.
Yeah, it means we've talked a lot and lots has happened. But, well, next week we'll be talking about, Premier League, Ipswich again, and then something else. Maybe a team. Maybe Wolves. Let's see how Wolves get on. They've got to play
we'll
Europa League. They've got to play Crystal Palace. They might be relegated by this point. You never know. Football is crazy. But before I forget to mention, follow us on Twitter, talk_pitch. If you want to listen to any of our previous shows, just simply search on YouTube, Pitchside Talk.
Yeah.
You'll find all of them. Listen
One
to
will
them.
be uploaded tonight.
Yes, it will. One will be uploaded tonight. See, we've got busy schedules.
Yeah.
Or you're just crying the corner because Norwich won. But I want to say thanks for listening to the show today, and we'll be back next week with another show, another jam-packed show. So, adios.
Yeah.
The whistle has been blown for full time. Tune in next week for another jam-packed show.